I'm Flavia from ZNP Notary. We are here recording a live with Dave Fullerton, an expert regarding mortgages. He's a mortgage broker, and I'll let him introduce himself. Hi, Dave. Thanks for coming here.
You are welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm Dave Fullerton. I am a mortgage broker with frontdoormortgage.ca. And Flavia, thanks for having me today.
Yeah, my pleasure. I have so many questions from clients all the time, and I find that it's better to bring an expert in the topic that we are discussing so you guys can hear firsthand what is the best solution, where should we go into, and everything. So I'll listen to your questions. If you have questions, make sure that you text everything. We will be reading and trying to respond to everything. Right now we have some questions that we have received, and I'll start with that. The most common thing is everybody seems to be panicking about the increase in the interest rate. A lot of people like me, in the past we have done variable interest rates on our mortgages because of the low interest rate. And now we are aware that the interest rate is about to increase. Where does that leave us? Should we lock our mortgage into a fixed rate? What are your thoughts?
That's a great question. And in fact, it's if I was to count the number of times in this past month that I've had phone calls from past clients, realtors, people, friends I know, I'd like to respond this way, and to get to the bottom of what's behind the question. Is it about their risk tolerance? Is it about fear? As I drill down and have a deeper conversation with clients, I'm able to guide them through some of the benefits of fixed versus a variable rate. We know this in Canada. There is studies done by a very famous professor from a university in Ontario, and he determined through this is a Canadian study, and he said 88% of the time, a Canadian homeowner who had a variable rate mortgage will save more in interest costs over the life of their mortgage. So behind that variable rate product, there is some more benefits for the consumer or the homeowner, including the cost to break the contract. It's less than a fixed rate. But when I get behind the fear message, I usually am able to determine what's really driving the question. And I say to clients, if you are going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning worried about the Bank of Canada raising its overnight rate and affecting the prime rate, then a fixed rate's for you. Because waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's not worth waking up thinking about your mortgage rate.
Exactly.
So there are benefits to both. There's pros and cons to both. I've got some great blog posts on my website, on my social media feeds that can kind of guide clients through that.
Okay, and we'll hashtag them Front Door Mortgage over here, so you guys can look at his page as well. So continuing along those lines, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Usually when people are trying to buy a house, they go into a pre-approval mortgage before we actually start looking into properties. Otherwise, you look into properties and realize that you cannot afford. What is the pre-approval process? How does it work? Should we shop for rates? Should we shop for a specific bank? I know that a lot of places advertise like very low interest rate. What is behind that? Like, should we save money just purely on that? What are your thoughts?
I would start with this. Align yourself with a mortgage broker who's experienced and who is licensed in the province of British Columbia. Look for recommendations from your family, your friends, people you work with. When I begin to have that conversation with clients who are referred to me, I like to start with this one question, and I ask them, what's important about home ownership to you? What is your goal in home ownership? And from there, we start to drill down into the deeper meaning, the goals of the client, what they're trying to really achieve. I've been in this business for 21 years now, including financial planning with a major bank. And I came to realize at some point early on that when clients talk to me about the rate, the interest rate. What's the lowest rate? I saw this rate advertised.
Yes.
I came to realize that wasn't the most important question to answer. Clients are coming to me because they have one of two needs. They want to reduce the stress in their life, the anxiety they might have, peace of mind, I call it, or two, they want to increase their cash flow. Sometimes it's both, but it's usually one of those two. So when I start with the question, what's important about home ownership, and then I can drill down and talk about what really the two issues they want to solve, or the two problems. We usually can put together a plan that meets their needs.
Great. Okay. Well, usually we see a lot of first-time home buyers, people that are starting on the market, and it's quite hard for them, right? In this kind of market, the prices the way that they are, and I can say that from talking to some of them, mostly they want to say, I want to buy the best thing that I can, like I want to increase my affordability, I want to borrow as much as I can to the maximum of what I think I can pay, regardless of what the bank thinks. And what is the best way of doing that? Like, do I wait until I feel I'm ready to approach you, or should I start working with you prior to? When is the best time to contact you?
Well, to quote, it's a famous line with most realtors, it's always a great time to own real estate. I'm not a realtor.
No, but I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Certainly.
Don't wait.
Okay.
But by getting into the market now, that pre-approval process, you want to look at several main factors. Number one, your credit. You want to make sure you have the right credit. That includes a healthy credit score. You want to have credit that's paid on time. So monitor your credit. And if you don't have enough credit established, do that systematically, do it carefully, apply for the right type of credit. Don't apply for too much credit. That's number one. You want to have a strong, healthy credit score. Number two, the right type of income. In our country here, I think the statistic is 45% of Canadians, homeowners, are self-employed. So
That's a lot.
There's a few more hoops that self-employed individuals have to jump through for the approval process. But income is probably the number one key factor in a pre-approval. And we've all heard about the famous or the infamous stress test.
Yes, we have heard.
And that stress test is directly related to your income, the provable income. And then number three is the down payment. We're fortunate in this country that we have, we've defined two different main sources of down payment that can come from your savings, systematic savings over a period of time, and gifted funds from a family member. I see that a lot.
Yes, me too.
Mom and dad, grandparents, brother and sister, helping that first-time buyer out to buy their first home. So those are the three core components to a healthy or a good, strong pre-approval. And make sure you get that pre-approval in writing from your mortgage broker.
In writing. It's usually valid for 3 months, is that right?
You're looking at 90 days to 120 days, depending on the lender, but go with 90 days, just to be safe.
Okay. So if anybody is out there considering getting into the market or renewing their mortgage, if they have done a mortgage directly with a bank or somewhere else, and they want to consider whether it's time to renew, lock the rate or not, they can contact you directly to get that worked?
Absolutely.
And do you work with clients even before they may be ready to get into the market, kind of preparing them to be ready to be a homeowner? Absolutely,
I do. Probably one of the most exciting things I get to do is to work with my clients' children. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it is such an honor when clients I've worked with for nearly 21 years, their kids are getting ready to buy. And so being able to talk with them and then guide them through those first stages of getting ready to buy the house, Absolutely, you want to get that all prepared now.
Okay, well, sounds good. I personally have seen firsthand what Dave is capable of doing, and the clients that have been working with him over the years, how financially improved they become. I'm a fan of your work. Thank you again for coming here. If you have more questions, please send us via email or leave a comment there, and I can forward to Dave as well. Thank you again for watching, and we'll be bringing more professionals' expertise here to answer your questions. Thanks again, Dave.
You are welcome.